Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Low Code Days if you are coming from an earlier session. And welcome to Low Code Days for anyone joining us for the first time. Thank you so much for attending and being a part of our very first Low Code Days. We appreciate it very much. My name is Tony Graham, Product Marketing Manager for LANSA. And for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to highlight the power of Visual LANSA and low code in general by taking a look at our new portal code start, Portalize. Now, Portalize has many great features out of the box, but I'm really going to focus on how easy it is to add your own applications to Portalize, how to enable them for our language support edition, and then some use cases where Portalize will really excel. So before we get started, overall, I would like to do a poll here, if everyone doesn't mind. So I'm curious what kind of portals everyone is developing or looking to develop. Are you looking for customer-facing portals, external to your business? Are you employee portals, something internal to your business? A vendor or supplier portal, maybe a specialized portal I didn't cover above? Or are you just here to see the power and versatility of low code? Don't be afraid to chime in if everyone would like to do some polling. That would be great. So just kind of, okay. So we're getting people chiming in here. Thank you very much. And again, this is just, even if you're not totally sure, maybe this is just something you're thinking about developing. And so that is perfectly fine as well. Okay. So we're going to end the poll. Thank you, everyone that participated. Appreciate that. And so just to kind of share, so here's what we got. We have a lot of people here just to see what low code can do, and Portalize is a great example of that. We have some vendor portals and looks like some employee portals, and one with the customer-facing portal. So thank you everybody for participating in that. I also want to mention, at any time, you can ask a question. There'll be plenty of time at the end of the session for me to answer those questions. And if I can't get to those questions, like if I don't know them right off the top of my head, we will keep track of those and get back in touch with you. So do not be afraid to ask questions. Okay, so the true power of low code. So Portalize is a prime example of what is possible with low code. Portalize proves low code is versatile and powerful, and Portalize really confirms that low code is a legitimate app development method. Portalize is a portal code start built with Visual LANSA. It is a fully functional portal that just needs a Visual LANSA app plugged in, and then you have a fully functional portal with your application. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to plug in a Visual LANSA app into Portal. It truly is the power of low code. And like I said, Portalize is built with Visual LANSA, powered by Visual LANSA, so it can be customized and tweaked with Visual LANSA. Okay, truly customer portal ready to go. So this is exactly how you would get Portalize up and running. You simply import Portalize into your Visual LANSA repository. You click execute on the Portalize webpage, and you have a fully functional portal ready to go. All you have to do then is plug in your Visual LANSA app into Portal and into Portalize, and your portal is complete. And I'm going to be highlighting that, how easy it is. And it really demonstrates how low code can save you development time, and how Portalize can save you massive amount of development time, since it comes loaded with all the most requested and all the necessary portal features. So you're not going to have to code admin features. You're not going to have to code user features. You're not going to have to code navigation. That all comes with it. And as Craig mentioned in our keynote, just Portalize alone can save you at least 3 months of development time. And then you couple that with the speed of developing Visual LANSA, and you can truly have a customized portal up and running very quick. So out of the box, this is what sort of Portalize will look like. It'll have all your user settings. It'll have all your administration settings. All those come standard. So, users can enroll themselves if you want them to. They have, they can change their views and their themes, right? So all that comes standard, and the administrators will have access to, suspend people, to unlock people if they get locked out. So all that comes standard, as well as our secure navigation. So this is Portalize right out of the box. Now, we need to add our application to it. So let's say we're going to add a dashboard application. So we're going to add this very dashboard application right to Portalize. I'm going to quickly walk you through how to do that. And this is an accurate representation of how adding a real Visual LANSA application is. This is going to be how simple it is. And whether you already have one complete that you just need to throw into Portalize, or whether you're developing one right now. In 2 slides, I'm going to show you how we can do this. So we're talking true low code efficiency. So the first thing we need to do is we need to use low code to add the dashboard option to the navigation drawer, so we have the ability to navigate to our dashboard. So we just simply find the navigation drawer in the repository. In the repository, if you're new to Visual LANSA and you're new to low code, a repository is just a central location where there's a lot of reusable code that sits there, and so you don't have to code over and over and over again. You're going to just use these reusable parts, use these server modules centrally located. So we simply navigate to the app drawer for this, for Portalize. We add the dashboard menu, dashboard item to the menu. We'll call it dashboard. We simply tag it as dashboard, and we give it a dashboard icon. So in a few minutes, we just have set up the navigation, like the icon. Now, so that's pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty efficient. Now we actually have to set up the navigation. So now, without leaving the Visual LANSA IDE, we will simply add 1 line of code to the navigation routine. So the item that we just added to the menu will actually take us to the dashboard when selected. And then we're done. That's it. The line of code I have highlighted there is the only line of code we're going to add. So we have successfully added this dashboard application to our portal in roughly 5 or less minutes of development time. So again, we simply added a menu item to the app drawer, and then we added a line of code. So we use drag and drop and 1 line of code. We compile it, we execute it, and we have our dashboard inside Portalize, and we're done. That is how easy it is to add a visual application to Portalize. Portalize is built with Visual LANSA. It's powered by Visual LANSA, so customizations and adding functionality are super easy, like we did there. And so even if you have several applications that need to go inside Portalize, it's all done very quickly, very easy. So Portalize also has a language support edition. And this is another great case of displaying the power and ability of low code. So Portalize language support uses low code to allow languages to be added and translated without coding right inside Portalize. So you're using low code to create no code functionality. And it's not just the text on the screen, but you can translate the PDFs and the languages the emails come in. So you could technically send out 1 email and it'll be translated to all the different languages on the user's end. So what Portalize language support does, it changes languages on the fly. You can add new languages without a single line of code. And so Portalize language support comes standard with that. And then I'll show you how you enable a current Visual LANSA application to become language support. It's very easy. It's very quick. And so if you have an application, you'll add these to it if you're developing it. It's very easy to retrofit an old application to be recognized by the language support edition. So developers, you're developing 1 portal for end users, right? So the end users can use different languages, all in the same portal. So you develop this 1 portal, and if you have end users that need 10 different languages, they're all over the world, no problem. You're going to be able to do that with the Language Support Edition. And then using Visual LANSA's hybrid code, we've talked about that some throughout low code days. And the hybrid code is, we seamlessly allow developers to create desktop, mobile apps, web apps seamlessly in the single IDE using a single language and still using the low code methodology. So using this hybrid approach, we're going to easily enable a current visual. Matter of fact, we're going to take the dashboard app and we're going to language support it. Okay, so here is an editable language resource inside Portalize. So when you're inside Portalize, if you have the rights, you can go in and edit the text on the screen in real time. So 0 lines of code. The developers don't need to do the translations. They just simply add a few lines of code to a current application so they can recognize it. And this is all done right inside Portalize on the translation part. So here's an example of so the dashboard. So after we enable it, here's what you're going to be able to do. Where it says company performance, you're going to be able to drop down a language and then select that translation. So any text on the screen that you enable, you're going to be able to translate that on the fly. So again, that really simplifies a portal development because you're only creating one portal and you're letting somebody that is their job or they know the language the best, you're letting them translate that. So here again, we selected the Japanese language. It's the same thing, company performance, USD, revenue in, expenses. So we selected a different language and we can still translate that into that language. Okay, so we have added our dashboard to our portal and now we want to enable language support translations on the fly. So while all the features of Portalize support and are able to translate using no code right out of the box, we have to enable our visual LANSA apps we're plugging in with this functionality. So this is so that a user can translate anything we have on the screen. So we need to set up our app so Portalize can identify which resources can get edited. So we start with a reusable part for the company performance. And a reusable part is simply a resource that is located inside Visual LANSA's central repository, which can be accessible to all Visual LANSA apps. So it's basically you create one common resource and you just use that again and again, no coding. No coding needed. You code it the first time, it's available to all your apps. So here we're simply coming in and enabling this resource for Portalize. And you can see we're just going to add a few lines of code. That way company performance, USD, revenue, and expenses, we need to be able to let Portalize language support know that these are editable. And so you just simply set up this routine, you give it those brackets, and you give it the variable in that format. And now when this is ran, language support will recognize that as something that can be translated to on the fly. And so this is a reusable part for the company performance chart. And so in this case, we have 2 language resources, one for the labels and that's specific, and then one for the months in the year. So we just, again, we kind of need to go in and set that chart up. So language support understands that this can be changed on the fly. So this doesn't need to be done for all the text, for every app, for every aspect of the app. And this is just for aspects you want an end user to change on the fly. So if this is something that is going to be hard to read, a different language, you want this set up to be changed to a different language, then this is when you go in and do this. So again, if you see setting the chart title, and we're going down in and just enabling that with the same dot caption, with the same brackets, letting Portalize language support know that that can be changed on the fly. So we need to go in. So when you hover over certain parts of the charts, there's some hints. We want to be able to have the user change those as well. So it's the exact same method. We put it in the brackets. We give it the variable that the language support is going to recognize, and we add just a few lines of code. So now the hints can be translated as well. So right now we're about halfway through enabling the dashboard for language support. So we really haven't added that much code yet, and this is where the LANSA's hybrid approach really comes in handy. So you're able to code directly inside the IDE for front end, for back end, any part of the app. You're just going to stay inside the IDE, and you're going to use our RDMLX language to create your application. So you only need to code when it's necessary. There's going to be times where you may only add 1 or 2 lines of code to an entire application because you're using the low-code methodology to create it. But you have that capability, such in this case, to come back through and code right inside without having to drop out. So we'll just finish up with our last little bit of this dashboard. And when we're done, what we've done is gone in and enabled an entire dashboard for someone to go in and translate that on the fly. So what we're going to do here is months of the year. We need to define those. So we're going to set up some defaults. And the default simply is if no language is selected, then this is what's going to show up. And so we go through and give them a default. We call them one.caption. And there again, that's what Portalize will see is that one.caption. And then if there's nothing in the language support for the translation, it'll just default to January. But this allows that end user to go in and change the months for the language that they want to see them in. And then this part is just simply where we're calling the months.text. We're just simply calling that variable, that one.caption. So that'd be January. And this is why it's not it's not hard coded. They can change it inside Portalize language support because of this how we're calling it here. So it's simply as whatever stored for that one.caption, that's what's going to come up and allow them to be translated. If nothing's there for the translation, it'll default back to the default setting. And so we're done. We've added our lines of code. We compile, we execute, and now we have our dashboard. So originally, this dashboard was not language support. It was just a Visual LANSA application. And we've gone through and allowed the user to make changes on the fly for their language. So again, adding a few lines of code, we can edit our dashboard app right inside Portalize as user needs. So this is just a great example of how that hybrid approach is really versatile. We did some coding, right? Much less than traditional coding, like way less than traditional coding. And really, if we didn't want this to be language support, it would have been 1 line of code to put it in Portalize. But since we wanted to have the ability for end users to change languages on the fly, we've added a few extra lines of code. So, but it was all done inside the IDE. You didn't have to drop out for C#. You didn't have to go code in Java, all right inside Visual LANSA's IDE. So with Portalize and with Portalize language support, you get the entire VL source code. You get all of our best practices, all of our examples, how we make navigation and loading so fast, how we keep Portalize secure, plus anything we provide, you can reuse in your other VL applications. So we have a great way to navigate and a great way to load in these pages. And you can take that and put those in your application. Now, you don't even have to worry about it if you're using Portalize because we take care of the navigation for you. You simply plug it into that routine, the navigation drawer, and then we take care of navigation. But if you like our navigation, you just take that out and plug it into your Visual LANSA application. So not only is Portalize a great portal solution, and it really is. You know, it comes standard with so many features, especially this Portalize edition, the language support edition. But it's perfect for reuse in other Visual LANSA applications. So don't sit there and code, just reuse our code for your applications. Portalize, the language support edition here, also has the option to see the underlying code from inside the portal. And again, so if you can enable it, like in the admin settings, for a developer to go in there and they can actually see the code that's being called to change the resources on the fly. So for a new developer, if they wanted to see it, if a current developer is kind of curious where the resources are located, what routines are being called, they simply go into Portalize, they go to the page that they want translated, and all the code is there for them that they can then go reference and go make the changes that they need to change. So the big things to take away from the language support edition of Portalize is developers can quickly enable any Visual LANSA app for the Portalize language support. Then anyone in the company can come back and make those translations using no code from right inside the portal. So the developer does not have to be concerned with the language of the end user. If 20 different languages are going to be used, it does not matter to that developer. Developer just develops the app like they always have with no need of a translator. This lets the developer stay focused on developing, and it lets the end user or someone familiar with the language can actually do the translation. Again, one deployment, one portal for any number of languages. So Portalize use cases. I know we got some employee portal, it looks like, and then some are just here for the low code according to the poll. But internal portals, so employee portals, especially right now, communication and sharing is so important, right? With COVID and people having to work remote and people not being in the office as much, having a single portal for all the company correspondence and all the messaging greatly improves communication, and it helps eliminate confusion. It helps eliminate misunderstandings. It reduces anxiety because there is one spot your employees can go, they can log in and see all the company's correspondence. And while they're in there, it's a great place for collaboration and sharing. Since you're already in there checking communications, departments or various sections of the company could have their own sharing, could have a general sharing, very specific sharing and collaboration. So whether you're trading files, sharing files, whatever you're working on, it's a great use case there. Safety, having a safety portal, a place to go in and retrieve your safety data sheets, as well as safety reports, a place to keep those safety reports so employee knows they can go to the safety portal, download the safety report, their accident report, fill it out, and submit it back up, all on the portal. And that with document control and workflow processes, it's sort of the same thing. So, especially like if you're food safety, documentation is so important. Keeping old documentation in those archives are so important. And with a portal, your workflow processes, if they change, you need a revision to that workflow process. Having one spot to go get those workflows, to see the changes, to get the latest workflow, to get the latest document, reduces a lot of miscommunication and a lot of confusion. And then e-learning and training, onboarding, especially being remote, with a lot of remote right now, having just an onboarding process, such as, it could be part of your HR portal, having a place where they can come in, new employees can come in, log in, and go through step-by-step training. And you're only taking care of one portal. You're putting documents in one spot, and it streamlines that whole process. External portals. So with an external portal, you could have your customer loyalty and personalization all set up in that external portal. When that employee when that customer logs in, that portal is tailored to each customer, right? They can see whether it's their past purchases, maybe see what's relevant to them based off those past purchases, keep track of their loyalty points, So that's just one example of a use case for external, right? But there's also healthcare, like being able to set up doctor's appointments, as well as pay your bills, all that from one single portal, and wealth management as well. So vendor and supplier portals. This is another great use case. If you have supplier onboarding, if they just have to log into one portal and everything they need to do, all the documents they need to fill out, all their pre-requirements is in one spot, instead of sending it to each individual supplier all the time, you have one portal. You give them that portal, you give them their access to log in. They get to log in and go through their onboarding, autonomously. Managing the third-party suppliers, connecting with third-party suppliers, having a place where they can come in, connect, and manage. Portalize, along with Visual LANSA, those two together make great vendor and supplier portals. So build a custom portal fast. So again, steps to a fast portal: simply import Portalize into your IDE, plug in your Visual LANSA application, compile, execute, and you now have a your portal is deployed, and that's Portalize. So we can take any questions now. One second. Get up to, all right, questions. Is Portalize scalable? User pages, apps. Yes, so Portalize is highly scalable. In fact, it's good for 5 users. It's good for 500 users. It's good for 5,000 users. And as far as pages and apps, absolutely. We load apps very efficiently. And so it doesn't matter how many pages, how many apps you're going to have in this. It's only going to load what it needs to. And you're going to have a very, very fast portal, very fast navigation. And it is very secure. This has been, customers that have had it have taken it through testing. And so I would say that, it is very secure. It is very fast. It is very, very scalable. Okay, so so another question here. It says you drop any VL app in Portalize, any web app. So I will get back to you on that one. I know I'm mainly talking web here, but I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes. So we will definitely get back to you on that answer for sure. Okay. If there's no other questions, I thank you everybody for coming. I encourage all of you to attend our next session. It's a deep dive into smart modernization by Eugene King. It's a great demonstration of how to modernize smart. And especially if you're an IBMI shop, he's really gonna show you how to modernize at your own pace, how to really use company resources in an awesome, in a very smart way. So I highly recommend everyone checking out that next session. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody for attending Low Code Days. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions. Thank you very much.